Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you are doing well. I've got another deck profile for you today, although this time it's not for my own game. This is for a game called Mobi-Mon, which is a game made by SethG. I'll post a link in the description to his channel so you guys can check out the game if you're interested in it. This was a deck I was originally going to use in a recent tournament, but because of some life stuff I had to do, I ended up dropping out. But I did ask some people on Discord if they wanted to see this profile anyway, even though I hadn't participated in the tournament. So I posted a poll up, and it's been pretty unanimous. People wanted to see this, so here it is. I'm sharing it with you, and without further delay, let's get into it. The goal of this deck is a Reanimator deck, and what I'm trying to do is to use different reanimation effects to cheat cards into play in various ways from the discard pile. And the three main aspects of this deck are cards that fill the discard pile, reanimation effects, as well as plenty of removal to ensure that no one gets in my way of attacking. And so I'll cover those aspects in order, starting with the discarding effects. And the biggest one is Brainmon here. It's a 1-cost, 1100 power Mobi-Mon that when you download it, you get to mill the top 4 cards of your deck. So this is a great early game drop that allows you to fill that discard pile pretty quickly. So you have lots of juicy targets for your reanimation effects. Also on that note, Data in Progress is a software card that's also pretty good that leans into this strategy. It's a free card that just draws 2 cards and discards 1. Yeah, arguably a pretty broken card, but it's definitely very helpful for a strategy like this. Also on that note, I've got 2 copies of Hand Transfer. This is a permanent software that allows you to, once per turn, discard a card from your hand and gain 2 gigabytes, which are the currency to play cards in this game. So not only are you filling the discard pile, you're also ramping a little bit, which is very helpful. And trying to see if I can, but moving on to like some of the reanimation cards. The big one is 4 copies of Tyrantmon. This is a 3 gigabyte, 3000 power card that allows you to, when downloaded, grab any one of your red Mobi-Mon from your discard pile and put it into play for free. And we've got quite a few red cards here that'll be pretty helpful for that. You got Novamon, you've got Samurai-mon, as well as 1 Overhaul-mon as well that Tyrantmon can grab. Although you can always just grab additional copies of itself if you really wanted to, because it's pretty great. And as far as other reanimation effects, the other big one is, if I can read it, Tome of Necromancy. This is a 4 gigabyte software that allows you to re-download Mobi-Mon from your deleted zone, which is your discard pile, onto your side of the field. You don't get their effects, but it does help you fill up your field fast so you have plenty of attacks you can use. So definitely good if you're trying to go for lethal. Other effects include Chaosmon here, which has a lot going for it. A lot of text, but I'll try to break it down. You can download, when you put it into play, you add 1 software from your data files to your hand, which data files, if you don't know, are basically a measure of your life points. So if you lose all those, you lose the game. The second ability allows you to put a card from your data files to your hand, and it essentially lets you switch 1 card from your hand with 1 from your data files, which is interesting, especially if you have one of the single cards that's in there. This can help you get them out. And then the third one, when this card is deleted, you get to download 1 Mobi-Mon for free. So this is another good reanimation effect if this happens to get destroyed. Also worth noting is Organmon, 3 costs, 2100 power. If it ends up being deleted by an ability, then you get to download this card for free. So this is a card that can easily revive itself. And when you put it into play, you get to add one black Mobi-Mon from your deleted to your hand. So while that second effect is not reanimation, it does help you get cards back from the deleted zone, which is nice, especially since there are a few black cards that we only have one copy of. And as far as the removal package is concerned, I've already 4 copies of Monshot, 2 gigabytes software that just destroys target Mobi-Mon. Pretty simple. Samurai Mon is part of the red package that we can reanimate with Tyrant Mon, which basically states if it's deleted by an ability, you get to delete one Mobi-Mon on your opponent's field. And it combos pretty well with Novamon here, which when you download it, you destroy all Mobi-Mon on both players' wing zones, which, if you're not familiar, you have a 1 leader zone and 2 wing zones on the side. So if your Samurai Mon happens to be on the side on one of the wing zones, you'll be able to destroy the other card that's in the leader zone. So it's a pretty good card to help you clear the board. And while this one's technically not removal, but it can help with lethal pushes, it's Overhaul Mon, 2,400 power, 3 gigabyte. When you download it, you get to take control of one of your opponent's Mobi-Mon for the turn. Pretty obvious thing to do is to just grab their leader, so you can just easily hit their face a couple of times on your turn. And also Fearmon as well helps with lethal pushes, just coming into play, having the power of all the Mobi-Mon that your opponent controls. Definitely can help you get around those. And then there's also Gatling Mon here, who comes into play. You can pay an additional 2 gigabytes in addition to his cost to destroy 2 Mobi-Mon that are in play. And if this ends up being destroyed by battle, you get to take out whoever took it out. I did also neglect one card from the reanimation side of the package, and that's Wukong Mon here. He's red and yellow, which states at the end of each turn, if this card is in your deleted zone, you're allowed to discard your hand and free play him, though the ability can only be activated 7 times. I presume that's during a game for all your copies. I'll have to get some clarification on that one. And finally, one card that I didn't cover, it's 4 copies of Byte Miner. Each turn you just gain an extra gigabyte. Got a lot of cards that are 2 costs or more, so having ways to build up our gigabytes over time can help us play more cards. And that does it for all the cards in the deck itself. I do want to cover a couple of other options I was considering, kind of in hindsight, as well as one card that you want to look out for when playing. As far as other options go, Devil's Gambit is pretty nice. It's free, and you roll a die, and if the result is even, you draw 2 cards, but if it's odd, you discard 2 cards. Either effect is pretty helpful, though you don't really have control over this. And also more draw for this deck, because especially if you use Wukong Mon's effect, it'd be nice to have some extra draw for your hand, so Hidden Treasure's there to help draw some cards. Some extra ramp with Giga Charge would be nice, but I'm not sure where I'd put this. And then there's Hack Attack, which is also a pretty interesting removal option. There's a lot of variance with this card, though, unfortunately. If you get all heads, you could potentially wipe your opponent's board for pretty low cost, which is pretty nice, though you could end up wasting this card if you get all tails, so it's kind of one of the main reasons why I'm straying away from this. And then finally, cards to look out for. The main one is Digital Void. If your opponent ends up playing this against one of your reanimating cards like Tyrant Mon, it can kind of ruin your day. So that's definitely something you'll want to look out for. And that about does it for this deck. Thank you very much for watching. I know this was a different profile than what you're used to. Usually I cover my own game, but today I wanted to cover someone else's game in the community. So definitely leave a like if you enjoyed this and you want to see more deck profiles from other HTCGs, and definitely leave a comment about if you've played Mobi-Mon, if you have ideas for how you can improve this deck. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in whatever video I upload next, and take care.